how's it going? Welcome back. This is the second video, not counting my very first one. And like I mentioned in the other video, this one is about why, or like what's YouTube to me now, like what's the mindset going forward and why make YouTube videos now, especially in 2025, if you think about it. And that's what I'm gonna hear. That's what I'm here to discuss. So, I guess to start the conversation, it does seem kind of stupid to make a YouTube channel now. I think maybe that's the wrong thing to say or a wrong way to word it, but I mean, like in the advent of AI and the huge push for censorship that we're witnessing right now, it does seem kind of dumb to waste your precious energy, your precious calories. I mean, food is not cheap, so using that precious fuel to make a YouTube channel and put any amount of energy in there, it seems kind of dumb to me. But it is kind of like, in a sense, therapeutic, maybe. Is that correct? So one way, or what I started kind of, or what reason I decided to breathe life back into my channel, I found my password, was because, one, I want to like document, just like, I had a lot of things going around in my, cranium of mine, and YouTube is a pretty good place, I think, to archive your journey, archive whatever, and you can have maybe people that might vibe with your with you or whatever, and they might join along and just witness or follow along like another creator's growth or where they're going and stuff. So that was like where that was like the new thought process, because I mean, I have, like I mentioned, another one, like these legal pads, or these yellow paper things. Like I love using these to like write all sorts of random passages. And then I have my favorite pen right here, which is the Uniball Vision Elite. This is the 0.5 millimeter. I love using these. They feel good, especially on the legal pads. And then at some point, so I don't remember, like a month ago or something like that, I can't remember, I was rolling around in, not literally, in Target, and I stumbled across like I think there's their electronic aisle or section, and found this thing. See if it zooms in. There we go. It's a little mini voice recorder, and I'm like, let me pick it up, because this is kind of it's just, I don't know, I feel like I've seen these things, especially when you have these things. And I was like, well, I'll grab it and see how I feel about it. And I realized that I love yapping to this thing. This thing is really, really, what's the word? Therapeutic, again, I'll use that word again, to just like yap to, because unlike these devices that everyone has in their pockets, this isn't connected to nothing. There's no Wi-Fi, there's no apps, there's no freaking company or whatever that's like making you sign or accept some terms of service crap. So this is like, I can talk, like, I'll offload all the little garbage I have stuck in my brain, offload it on here, and it's quite intuitive. I mean, if I turn it on, so you can see how like the UI looks like. Let's see if you can see it. I think you can sort of see it. It's very simple. And I have hours on here. At least a couple hours, I think, because they have like little folders there, like from A to D. So I have them split between different ones, and I can talk to this thing unfiltered. So I don't have to. I can just be my true self, type of thing, and it's fun. It's really great to just offload ideas on there. And so I have pen and paper, and then I have a voice recorder. So I have two ways to just, like, again, dump my ideas on in two different formats. And then I was like, well, YouTube is a video platform. Why not just make little videos like this and just offload more crap into video format and then post it online? Not for anybody really, but for myself. But if people just, if people latch on to something I say, or they like these kind of videos, because it is like more long form, and again, I'm one to yap forever, and I can just talk and talk and talk until like my throat hurts. So I was like, well, this is what I think this is what I should try with the YouTube channel. That's why I made the initial first video talking about, well, this is the new direction I want to try, because I did try the gaming, because you can see it if you look into my I mean, you don't have to look far, but you can see the other videos I posted were gaming videos, gameplay videos with some voiceover. There was one, the Final Fantasy one, I played and talked at the same time, so I wasn't, well, it's still a voiceover, I guess, but it was kind of almost like in VOD style, like, like YouTube stream. But I quickly realized that was just not, I was boring and I didn't like it. It was not that fun. If in the future I do decide to do that again, it'll be in streaming form. I think it'll be 10 times better than just record a video, voice over it, cut bits and bobs of it, and then post it online. That's just so dumb. I don't like. I was not fun. I mean, there's people that do it. Kudos to them, but to me, I was not as fun. And the reason I kind of tried to pursue it further was because I did have one video. It was like 3 years ago or something like that, when Elden Ring was popping off, and I made like a couple Elden Ring videos, just downloaded, the Xbox 30-second clip like feature that they have, and I just uploaded those, and one of them just happened to hit over 500. I mean, right now I think it's sitting at like 540,000 views or something like that, but at the time it was like getting like thousands and thousands of views every day, and I was just like, whoa, that's crazy. It's just that easy to just like blow up, or not really blow up, but like grow on YouTube or whatever. No, it's not. As you can see, most of my other videos after that, they just floundered. There is no views. Even like the videos that I made recently, the last couple of days or whatever, like they've got no views. But I mean, it's okay, because that's kind of not the point anymore. It's not the point. I mean, growing obviously is great. I mean, how else am I going to afford a McLaren P1? Am I right? So please subscribe so I can become super duper rich. But no, seriously though. But yeah, they didn't. So this, if you hear a train, my bad. I have the window open. But anyways, so yeah, that was like the shift now from like thinking, oh, I want to get, chasing trends. Like I gotta chase trends. That's how you can grow. And maybe I could have grown if I kind of kept hopping from, popular game to popular game. But as much as I do like gaming, it's not as fun. And especially since I started reading and writing, I have had no time for gaming. Not that I don't want to play, it's just not enough, especially with like a job. It's really not, and it's just hard to fit it in, But I do play, obviously, games here and there, and I do want to talk about gaming at some point, because each game, especially single player games, have a story, and like there's one game called Expedition 33. I'm sure you guys heard of it. It's quite popular, and that game is very heavy story driven, and that's like an example of a video game I don't mind, or I would like to like talk about, but I don't think I will talk about it with a gameplay over gameplay videos, because I just don't want to do that, because like I said, I might be lazy or not, but part of the mindset of going this route where it's just more of like an archive to myself is that I don't no longer worried about like, okay, I don't have to be this super duper like you know, Hollywood whatever editor to like make these blockbuster YouTube videos. Like it doesn't matter anymore. Obviously I will probably, depending on how I feel, I will probably at least upgrade the lens, because this is, I mean, it's still a good camera. This is an A6000, and I looked online, and it was still worth an arm and a freaking leg. Like, I bought this thing, like, when the dinosaurs were rolling around on planet Earth, you know? And it's crazy how expensive this camera still is. And it's a good camera. You know, it can't do 4K or anything, and I don't think I can do 60-frame video, but, I mean, it's a video, for fuck's sake. 30 frames I think is just fine, plus the file size would be a lot smaller. But I would like to maybe upgrade the lens, because this is the default lens that comes with it, and it's a great lens, but I do film in more of like a darker area. I mean, look at the video right now, feels like I have to figure out how to make the video look a little bit more better. It feels like there's some washed out colors, but I mean, again, it's not really a priority to be like, well, I got to make the best video possible. As long as my background looks semi-decent, it's fine, I think. I'd rather have people follow me for, like, for me, not for, like, you know, some arbitrary stat of, like, this video has to be, like, this quality, and that's why people follow me. No, I don't really want that. In the future, it'll get better, obviously. Especially if you know, when I move to like a new location, I'll be able to set it up even much more cleaner, and maybe get more bookshelves going in the back. So that stuff is coming, but it's not the focus, it's not the drive, it's not the reason that I decided to, you know, find my password to this channel, for one, and two, actually turn on the camera and expose my face. You know, that's not something that I just did for any other reason but just to document my my ideas and my, like, and I guess in a way to try to advertise my story, because I mean that is the real main reason I decided to get this channel going again, is because I feel like I mean, I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of authors, a lot of newbie authors, a lot of upcoming authors, indie authors, all have this kind of drive, like they feel like their story is good and they really want to put it out there, and I'm no different from them, and I want to do the same thing. And I was like, well, if in the future I do finally get it to a point where it's like I'm not embarrassed for people to look at the words, it'd be nice to have people to read it, you know. And damn, the train's really going, huh? Unfortunate timing. Shaking the whole house. But yeah, like, that's the thing, and I feel like this is one way to cultivate an audience, I think, is just kind of just be myself, be real about it, and express my ideas, and not really worry about the video quality. The same thing with, you know, I might cut here and there if something like happens, somebody walks in the door, or some, you know, spaceships decide to crash behind me. Actually, I might not edit that out. That'd be kind of cool. But some random things happen, I might edit it out. But for the most part, it's just like a one take, hit the record button, and just talk to you guys like a normal human being. Because like I said, AI is here. AI is compressing all the videos of real people down and making them disappear. You know, there's just too much. And now with the age verification, who knows how the future of YouTube looks like, and not just YouTube, but all the other platforms. I mean, it is kind of wild what's happening right now. But again, it doesn't really matter right now. It does matter, but, you know, I'm sure people will be seeking out, you know, real videos, and that's kind of like what I'm thinking, is like, because I mean, I'm in that boat as well. I mean, since getting into reading, I got into what do they call, BookTube. I mean, those are some of my favorite videos to watch currently. I've been watching them nonstop for 2 months, and it's nothing. Like, I'm not like talking down or anything on their like video quality or whatever, but I mean, most of the quality is good. You know, they had a good camera and whatever, but I mean, they're just talking, and then I just gravitate to those videos. Like, I don't really care for highly edited videos. Like, like Mr. Beast or whatever. That is not what I go on YouTube for. But I have found that BookTube and other style videos of like that sort, like what do they call them? Talking heads or whatever. They're a lot more fun, and you don't even have to watch them. You could just put them in the background, and they'll just listen to them yap while you do whatever. And I honestly, I saw that, and I was like, I could do the same thing. I feel like I can. I'm not the smartest guy out there. I don't have some crazy lifestyle. I'm just me. Just some guy that likes doing things like reading or whatever, and playing video games, and have my own ideas and feelings about such topic and that topic. I don't really care about politics too much, but so I won't talk about that here. But I mean, I may like dabble into it here and there, because I mean, like in my own story, like I do want to write about, like obviously there's going to be politics in there. I would like to write, learn, and see how others have done it in the past, current, and how it might be look in the future, and then squeeze that all that content and just like drip it into my own story, because I feel like that's important, and kind of going back to like what I said before about because again, see, I kind of jump topics a little bit. I don't have anything written down or anything. I'm just kind of going off like how I feel. But going back to like a thing I said about making videos just for me, and now like my thing, there's an author. I read one of his books, and I'll grab the book right now just to show you. So this is Christopher Ruocchio's Emperor of Silence. It's the Sun Eater saga. I'm sure you guys seen it. I think it's been gaining traction here and there. Like I said, I'm a new reader. I only started reading 2 months ago. But I did, I saw a YouTube video or whatever, and they mentioned this, and it kind of reminded me of Dune a little bit, and I've never read Dune, but I watched the movies, and I read the newer ones, and I liked them. So I picked up that book, and I read it, and I really, really enjoyed it. But the one thing that really stuck to me is like there was an interview by a YouTuber. I think it's Sam Wise, I think. Yeah, I think that's the name of the YouTuber. And he did an interview with Christopher Ruocchio, and he said that. What did he say? He said hold on, I think I have it like. Okay, here. So I did jot it down on a little thing, and he said he always thought of his main audience as being himself, and he's writing the book for himself. So, and I think that's at the 40-minute mark, and I really like latched onto that idea, that thought, that quote, because as I mentioned in the beginning, like that's kind of like that's kind of like how I'm starting thinking about YouTube as well. And so I guess an audience is great. Yes, growing community is fantastic, especially if you want to be a writer and author and you want to potentially make some kind of living off it. But more importantly, you want people to read your story. That's why you want to that's why I'm like, if you have a full-time job that pays pretty well, I mean, there's really no fear if people don't buy your book. But I think the fear is like if you don't get people to read your book, because I want to trap people in my world. That's how I'm thinking. Like I just want to they read it, and then I just trap them in there, and they don't want to leave. That's like what I want with my book, and I will talk about it in probably the next video, because I mentioned it a bunch of times. So I feel like for part 3, or the third video, I'll dive deeper into that. I won't talk about specifics, because I do want to keep it as vague as I can. Because when I do get super famous, obviously, people will find these videos and they'll be like, "Oh, spoiler, he said this thing," and then they'll connect the dots, and then boom, my whole entire story is spoiled. Because that's what's going to happen. In 1 year time, I'm going to be the top dog writer. Yep. But yeah, no. So after that interview, it was another push into like start your YouTube channel, don't give a shit about anything, the numbers, all that stuff. Like, yes, as a human being, it's hard not to get a little distraught, I guess, when you don't see when it's watching your videos, you don't see a subscriber count going up. Because I mean, just like in the gym or any form of anything that you ever do, you're always going to be bombarded by people that are at the top, and you just can't help but be like, well, what's wrong with me? What is wrong with me? How come nobody wants to watch me? Why does no one care about my opinion? So it's obviously easy to get sucked up into that, the whirlpool of negative thought, and just fully stop doing what you're doing and just give up on it. But I mean, and I was there. I'm going to be honest. I was there, and I was like, after like a couple of videos, I was like, man, no one gives a crap, so why bother? But now that's not the point. Now the point is, I want to see myself grow, and then I want to go back into the future and just relook at some of these videos and rewatch them, and maybe I have some ideas that I even forgot, because you know what the brain does. You have an idea that you'll be walking around, you'll be in the shower, you'll be floating in space, walking your alien dog, trimming the grass on the sun, and then you just get this crazy idea, and you're like, whoa, this is either a cool lyric, a cool rhyme, a cool concept, a cool answer to whatever you're thinking. And then you're just like you're trying desperately. You're squeezing that idea, and like hopefully it doesn't escape. And then what the brain does, it just shocks your little nerves. You open your palms, and the idea falls down to the void. And then the cosmic demon that lives inside your brain, the void or whatever, it gobbles it up, and then never to be seen again, until like some random, like 20 millennia in the future, you'd be doing the same thing, like picking your nose, and then, the idea reappears again. Because the brain is just goofy like that. It's a little prankster. So that's why, like, things like this and, these little notepads. And then I have a couple other little tiny notebooks that sometimes I put in my back pocket or whatever. Like I said, I don't really like recording on my phone. Again, call me a conspiracy theorist, call me whatever. But I always feel, and I'm not the only one that feels like this. I know some of you feel like this too. If you feel like if you put any ideas into your phone, you have like this goblin. You have your FBI agent that watches you. Hello, FBI agent. And then you also have others. But then you got that little goblin that sits there and be like, oh, that's a good idea. Screenshot. Again, that's probably not how it happens, but that's just how I envision it. And I'm like, I don't want to put any of my ideas that I feel dear, because again, if I'm not alone in this thought. I'm sure other authors have the same feeling, but like all your ideas, you feel like you got to protect them with your life. Like you're just afraid to just like, oh, somebody's going to grab it and take. And again, I'm not it's not like everything I write is original. I feel like it's impossible. You have 8 billion people on planet Earth, and like, what's the percentage of them that are authors and poets, movie creators, mangakas, you name it. Someone's out there that probably had or came up with an idea similar to yours. So it's not like everything I come up with is original, yada yada. But I mean, like, you still know what I mean. I think if I explain it correctly, then yeah, you might still know what I mean. And that's just how I feel like. So like, this voice recorder, because this is like one of one. You're not gonna find this in the store. You're not gonna find it in another planet in the universe. You won't even find, if you get like sucked up into the back doors, and then from there you get pooped out into another like dimension or spatial plane that might have these things, like an entire universe full of these. Just the planets are these, the atoms are these. You're not going to find this one, which is mine, and I can annihilate this thing, and all the ideas and thoughts will be gone forever, all eternity. You'll never be able to get these back. So that's kind of cool. It's like its own little pocket dimension. So it's not being offloaded into like the cloud. Microsoft's not here with freaking Copilot, in every orifice, that they can shove themselves in, trying to record your freaking heartbeats and your atom movements and stuff. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know, that's honestly, again, it's a slightly tangent, but it's like, it feels like I'm now more as the technology gets better, I feel like I'm getting pushed more towards this age again, the age of just physical stuff. Again, this is a major tangent. I mean, this is like not even part of the video of the topic, but it does feel like everything is pushing me towards physical stuff. Like I want to buy cassette tapes. I want to buy DVDs and stuff like that, because like digital is just no good. It's good but convenient, but it's no good. That's why part of the reason why I started buying books like this. Like there's ebooks, but should I say this? Who cares? I really don't like ebooks. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like ebooks. I don't like the idea of Audible. This is just my opinion. Please don't. I'm not attacking anybody that likes them. Obviously, there's people that have impairments that cannot read. They can't see or whatever. I am not attacking anybody. It's just for me as a healthy human male that has nothing wrong besides maybe I have some mental problems. But I have healthy hands. I have healthy eyes. And I can read by holding a book in my hand. I will keep doing that. It's the same reason why I drive only a manual car. It's just, I just want to be connected. And the only way, in my opinion, to be fully connected to an author is this, like this right here. Like I'm holding his words in my hand. It's a copy, I know, but I'm here with him, you know. I don't know how else to say it. It's like, but if I'm reading here, there's like this, again, there's glass. It feels unreal. It feels fake. There's no link. Like I feel like I have I'm more in tuned into the author's frequency, or I'm linked to the author more through a physical book than I am through anything digital. Again, it's kind of a hot take, maybe. I don't know, because I know people have their own strong opinions on that, but that's just my opinion. Please don't crucify me in the comments, or do. Doesn't matter. I need the engagement, right? But to really reel it back in to the first part of what I said, you know, I think I'm an optimistic individual, so I feel like in the future, when more AI is raining on top of everything in these huge raindrops and it's flooding all the main streets and stuff, and no one's got anywhere to go, I still think people will tread through that water and still go into the little alleyways and find real people making real content. Nothing crazy, nothing too edited, just people talking about their own human ideas and opinions. And I feel like these videos style is good, and maybe one day people will find my yapping about random stuff and me just going around in circles about the same topic, somewhat entertaining, and maybe they can latch onto it in a way. So I feel like I answered it. I think I did a pretty good job. Again, I went on a couple tangents here and there, but I think I was able to reel it back in. And I think I got everything I want to say. So now, for the future content, as much as I like this, I think this is how I'm gonna go with this channel. I do have ideas, because I have lots of short stories that I have written, and I want to somehow share them. Because I mean, there's no, again, I'll talk about this in the next video, but there's no way I'm ever in a million years times trillion I'm gonna share any writings of my darling story, my main story, because I am such a shit writer. I am so bad. Like I mentioned in that video, it's disgusting to look at. When I read what I wrote back, it makes me mad. I'm like, man, I am so unskilled. So there's no way I can ever show that, because if I care about that story as much as I can, or as much as I do, I want to make sure that I get the experience, the time to build up my skills. So the way to do that is to write smaller stories, breaking, because like my main story is like this giant juggernaut of like just, it's this big, it's huge, bro, it's massive. Don't take that out of context. But before I can correctly convey and paint that detailed image that you're just like tasting like what the grass blades or the dew on grass tastes like, I need to get good at writing, getting my prose correct, building my vocabulary, because honestly one of my lowest weaknesses is just I don't have enough vocabulary in my mind to paint the image that I want. That's why even when I talk, I'm like one big ass freaking run-on sentence. I just yap, and I just forget to put a comma or a period anywhere. And then saying every 5 seconds is another thing that makes me want to freaking be like, bro, just stop talking. However, what am I doing? So yeah, I need to release short stories, like maybe like 10 to 20,000 word short stories, and then maybe like, what do they call them, novellas, like light novels, like Overlord, I think is like only 240 pages. I don't know what that is in word count. No one ever discloses that. I feel like, I don't know why, that seems like it's like hidden information for no reason. But anywhere between 10 to 60,000 words. So like little short stories, so I can practice and narrate them. So that's where I don't know what to do in a way, because like, yes, I think YouTube has a way. I saw it in their settings. It has tabs, and I think I can make like, if I make like a short story playlist, I can tag that playlist to be next to, like, you got the home, you got the video, and some channels that do live stream, they have like a live tab, so you can click between those three, so it separates them. I don't know if that's how it works, because I would like to not have those videos be intertwined with these style of videos where it's just me talking. I want them to be separated so you can see them right there, and if there's chapters to them, you can be like chapter 1, whatever. Obviously they'll be in their own playlist if it's like, story B, and then I start story C and story A, and each one will have their own playlist, obviously, so you can just click on the playlist and just listen through them one, by chapter. But I don't want them to be intermingled with just these talks, because this channel, again, is just there to just me to offload, to dump my ideas, my thoughts, what I'm feeling about a certain subject, all into this, that's the point of this channel. And I don't know if I can set it up to do it where it's not going to be a hindrance, an annoyance, a nuisance, for those kind of, if people do enjoy my short stories and they just want that kind of content. So I think I will make a new channel instead, and then that channel will be dedicated just for my short stories. And I have ideas how I want to do them, which I'm not gonna say it. I will keep it a surprise. Well, it's not that cool, but I think it's cool anyways. But anyways, I think I'm leaning again more towards making a new YouTube channel instead, and just having that, and just separating those two completely, so I don't, taint or filter or drown out, or whatever you want, whatever other word you want to stuff in here, that content. And so I think that might be the best way to do it. And so that's the future plan. I don't know when I'll do it. I think I'll do it when I feel comfortable, or I guess more consistent with posting on YouTube. Like I say, I have lots of topics to talk about. Like, the next video, like I mentioned, would be about my story. What's my plans on it? How I think I want to do it. And then hopefully people can chime in and give me ideas about like what they're thinking about my idea. Excuse me. Like how it sounds to them, because I do feel like, again, I didn't read a lot of books. There is a book, I might have mentioned it in the other video, I don't know, but I have The Wheel of Time. I've seen a lot of booktubers yap about that, and it does seem like a book that travels quite far, from like childhood all the way to when he becomes an adult and does this thing that he's supposed to do. And then Brandon Sanderson has the Cosmere. I only read 2 of his books, which is both book 1 and 2 of Mistborn, the original trilogy. But he does have a Cosmere where he seemingly, and I do own the first book of Stormlight, which I will read once I finish reading all of the Mistborn, including the Max Wayne. So I'll wait to that. But from the sound of it, because I do watch his YouTube channel, he is somebody that I want to emulate in a way, because I do, and I did buy something from him. I will make a quick little video after. I might make it after this one, because I want to talk about it, because I want to open it and look at it. But I do really like what he's doing. Like, I like how he's talking to his audience. He's letting his audience know he has a lots of ideas, and I do like the whole like world that he's building where it all connects. I think even Stephen King does that too, from other booktubers, that especially ones that really like Stephen King. They always mention that certain parts, like certain stories, do have like these nods to other stories, and they kind of sort of connect in a way. And it's kind of like what I want to do with mine. Again, this is sort of like another tangent from the main topic of the video, but this is like the closing. So that's like in the next video, I'll talk about what I'm thinking for my story, how I want to build it, yada yada. And then the video after that one will be more towards the booktube style, where I will talk about the books that I read, the 8 books that I've read, and then talk about the books that I'm reading now, and maybe talk about like how, because I have this right here, this shelf, hello, is all nonfiction, and then that shelf, this one, is all fiction. So I have them split, and in that video I want to talk about like what's my ideas, what's my thought process, why I have them arranged in a certain way that I have them arranged in, and how I read my books. Again, I'm a new reader, but after 8 books, I feel like I already came up with a system. I even made a little Excel sheet talking, kind of breaking them down. Well, not breaking them down, but more like listing what books. So if you're curious to see like what all those books are, I will show the Excel sheet on both this shelf and that shelf. See which, what's the nonfiction and what's fiction books that I own. I will not probably include those books. Again, those are art books. And then on the last shelf, I might talk about that. Maybe I will talk about it there. Why not? It'll make the video longer. I might talk about all the books that I have, but the Excel sheet does not include the books that are way down there or my art books, because I don't know, I just don't want to include them. But anyways, so those are the 2 videos after, or 3, because if I do make the video about the thing that I ordered from Brandon Sanderson, which I think I actually might make that next, because it could be a quick little video. But anyways, in closing, these videos are for me. Monetary, as good as that is, money, obviously no one's opposed to money. It's good to have a little cash flow, but but that's not the main focus. The main focus is just to get my ideas out there, document them, archive them, hold them in one spot. If people like them, then it's like a bonus, and then once I start hopefully building a community naturally, it'll be other authors, writers, or readers, and they might, throw me a couple ideas of things that they liked or they don't like, especially in my short story. When I do my short stories, it'd be very helpful to people critique me. And again, it's online. You don't know me, so you don't have to feel bad. You can just roast my story as hard as you can. It won't matter to me, because it's just going to help me in the future. And I know no matter how hard I try, I will never be able to write anything to please everybody. So I already accepted that, and I already know kind of like how I want to write, just based on who I am as a person, what I like to watch, and what I like to read now. So, yes, I think that's the video. I think I've said everything. I might have missed a couple things here and there, but I mean, I feel like I mentioned everything. I rambled a little bit. I shared what I thought about YouTube, how I'm going forward, and the next videos. Oops, oh, damn, I keep hitting my mic. I might get a new mic stand. I think that's for sure. I'll keep this mic probably. I mean, I don't have any filters set up. I just have it like a limiter in case I make like a loud noise. But besides that, I got no filters on here. I'm just talking to a fucking mic. Again, not to go off tangent again. It's another 40-minute video. Of course it is. It feels like I only talked to you for like 2 minutes. It's crazy how fast it goes. It's wild. I can't believe I talked to 40 minutes already. But okay, I'm gonna end it right here. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good morning, afternoon, midnight. Have a good 3 o'clock if you're at job. RIP. Hopefully you have a good time. And then enjoy your lunch if you're at lunch, and breakfast if you're listening to this during breakfast. And I hope to see you in the next episode of Demon's Mind. And yeah, peace. Closing the portal. See ya.